Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. And I am making this on Wednesday evening because I realized I had completely forgotten that today is in the Northern Hemisphere, the longest day of the year, and the solstice for summer, or the summer solstice. In the Southern Hemisphere, it is the shortest day of the year, and the people in that hemisphere are beginning winter. So I thought, I cannot let this pass unaddressed. So I'm going to put this out in the morning because it's already kind of getting late here. And I have a feeling that, I don't know, it'll still be okay tomorrow. It'll still be okay. The energy is the energy, and it's not that stark of a shift that I feel like will happen. But while I'm in the mindset to do it, I wanted to go ahead and do this now. I made some decaf, and I very intentionally grabbed for this mug. She believed she could, so she did. We, I think, in the collective, have all had a lot to grieve. A lot of us have been grieving a lot of different things lately. And I think, even though that process hasn't stopped, we are growing much stronger. And you all have the best comments ever. I appreciate all of you so much. So let's get to it. My name's Holly. I'm a psychic medium, by the way. I read energy, but I use oracle and tarot decks for general readings, and this is a general reading, so it can apply to everyone. So let's just try to figure out what are the dominant themes and vibes happening in the energy right now, okay? I started with a deck I don't use very often because I just have trouble connecting with it. But this one was jumping out at me to use today. And it's the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So I went ahead and pulled cards ahead of time just because I kind of look at them in flat lines sometimes. It's like, I don't know, nice card, whatever. Excuse me. But this one, when it came out, I looked at it and it was almost like a gut punch, you know, that kind of thing. It was like, oh, this is almost scary looking, I think. It's a tree that's on fire. It's called the Wailing Tree in Reconciliations. Wailing as in Wailing. I never know if my accent is clear or not. You can see faces in the tree. It looks like the tree is on fire. It looks like a volcano. It looks like it's kind of scary. And what I got was, it's okay to let yourself grieve because that's the energy we're in, and we're getting ready to come out of that. And so I took the time to look at what the book with the deck says, because normally I just kind of don't. But pretty much that's what it was saying, that it's been a time of trial and error, and there is a lot of grief happening. There might be some reconciliations, but even if you feel like something is a failure, it isn't, because you learned so much from it. And that, I thought, wow, that's great. That hits it. So the second card that came out, and that's where I knew to leave this. And the first one was card 59. This card is 55. Definitely we were moving into change. This one is called The Farther Gate. It almost reminds me of sort of an interpretation of maybe the gateway even to the other side. Bold step forward. I feel like coming out and coming on the heels of what has been a grief-filled time period for a whole lot of people. It's time to make that bold step. If we don't ask ourselves, what is it that we really want? What is it that we really stand for? What are we going to go after? Then when will we? You know, when will we? So I think the dominant messages here for the collective is just Give yourself time to heal, give yourself time to grieve, and then realize it's time to move forward and take those big, bold steps. What I'm hearing right now, it's kind of like it's a saying I'm sure everyone has heard many times. You only live once. Well, you only live this lifetime once. I believe you live a whole bunch of lifetimes if you so choose. But this particular one, you're only going to do it one time. Don't be apologetic for who you are or what you do. It is time for you to start living your best life, because we don't want to grieve for ourselves when we take our final breath. We want to know we've done everything we can. I think that the solstices, on whichever way you're looking at it, northern or southern hemisphere, I do think it is bringing in a new energy. In this hemisphere, where we're moving into summer, it's been kind of stayed and a little stagnant and really humid, and it's felt very oppressive, and it just feels like we're kind of, the energy to me personally has felt like it's just like walking through deep water. It's like, it's difficult, you know? You're getting friction, you're getting pushback. Thank you, Spirit. I can feel them around me. What is the message you, and my voice just changed. So cool. What is the message you have for the collective right now? The energy is about to change, absolutely. It will grow. It will seem faster in time or shorter in time, depending on how you perceive it, but it will seem condensed. That is the word, condensed. It will seem compacted, because things will happen very quickly. But yet it is not a race. Do not feel as though you have to run. You do not. But in the blink of an eye, the next few months are going to seem to disappear. Time is very different here in this world. It will be much more aligned with the energy of the other side, in that thoughts manifest quickly. There is a heightened sense of awareness and knowing. The compression of time will be interesting. That is what is allowing these thought forms to become reality for you in a very condensed period of time. Choose wisely what you think about. Thank you. And that was some playful energy coming in. They were divine, trust me. And that makes sense. And I'm glad they said it, because I think they knew I was going to go in a circular fashion and talk for too long, and they kind of got straight to the point. It felt almost giddy and exuberant. Interesting. So I, at this point, would suggest, and it's just a suggestion, that if you have things that you want to manifest, you might even want to write them down so you see them and it's in a clear, concise language that's set in the positive, not the negative. An example would be, let's use health. Okay. Let's say, write it in the positive. I have, energy and radiant. I am health. I am healthy, vibrant, and excited about what is coming, or something like that, instead of saying the aches and pains stop, because all you're saying are aches and pains. That's the difference between phrasing it in the negative and phrasing it in the positive. What part of it is being heard? You want every single word to be heard, and you don't want to have to have anyone or anything interpret what you want. Okay, so be careful about that. And if you just write it down, it kind of solidifies it in your brain, and it puts it out there, and you see it every day, and it's a constant reminder. Okay, so that would be one suggestion. Someone's getting ready to have a career transition. I just opened the deck. That's the one I saw. And this is the Angels and Auras Oracle. So that's for one person, or multiple people, I guess. But you know what I mean. That's just for one part of the collective. All right. Someone else is getting ready I think someone's getting ready to go overseas for a job opportunity. And you're a little nervous, but you're very excited. I feel like this is a younger person. And it's going to be an adventure, and of course there's going to be good and bad, but overall it's going to be the adventure of a lifetime. I'm getting Italy about something too, so I don't know if that's the same thing or someone's taking a trip. That's a big trip. Okay, so all right, now that's gone. So I guess that's all I needed to say. So if someone is thinking about it, it's being planned. It's out there. All right, let's see. About the affirmations and things also. So yeah, be careful. And I know what I was going to say. If you catch yourself having a negative thought, because if what they're saying is true, and we're going to be in a condensed period where thoughts become things quickly, if you start having a negative thought, what I like to do is just say, nope, stop, I reject that entirely. Boom, done. Let it go, actually kind of brush it off, and then replace it with something happy and positive. Okay, so remember that. That's really a good one. And I tell you where I do it a lot is if I'm driving down the road and there's been like a car accident or a fender bender, whatever it is, and I start to tense up, I realize I got to be careful or I'm going to draw that to me. So I just say, nope, I reject that entirely. That's not me. And then I ask, may all involved be helped, whatever, if you want to do that. But yeah, just say, no, I reject that entirely. That is not me. Get it away from me. Thank you. And that's it. And then I let it go and I don't think about it again. All right. So now from the angels, and that just went flying. From the Angels and Auras Oracle. Guardian angels, protection, clarity, spirituality, and wisdom. So, yeah, that bright light, that sparkly light. And I love that yellow around it. So you are surrounded, and right now, man, there's some really happy energy coming around. Really happy energy, and it just feels like there are so many surrounding us right now, and they're so excited. So they're excited about whatever changes are coming. And I opened it to the center of the deck and put it out on either side. And both cards are angelic realm beings. Jophael and Pink. And her card says, I almost said compression. It says compassion, self-care, simplification, and beauty. And that could be inner and outer beauty. And the other one is Zadkiel, purple. Destiny, pride, conscious, forgiveness. So the purples and the pinks are coming out. All right. I love that. I think that's perfect. I love it. And I like that one has a more feminine energy and one a more masculine energy, because we all have those parts of ourselves. That is so cool. All right. God, what a cool, fun little channeled message. That was just a lot of fun. And it was, I don't think I've ever had it feel that way before. I mean, it was not serious and the heartfelt, warm stuff. It was just like playful and jovial and having a good time and so excited, almost like they were at a party or something. It felt like they were having a party. Isn't that funny? Which I do know they have parties on the other side. Ah, and this one fell out as I was talking. The Fool card, New Beginnings, and this girl's falling backwards. Yellow is coming up again because she's wearing a yellow dress. So, and the pool beneath her looks like the flower or the seed of life mandala or sacred geometry. So I feel like things are all starting to come together, and things usually, you know, you got to have a tower, you got to have something falling apart in order to rebuild and make the new. This feels hopeful, you all. This feels so hopeful and so good. So this coming season, whether it's summer or winter, depending on where you live, this coming season is going to be a season of, I'm hearing the word discovery, and it's going to be built on hope and the awareness of self and joy of being around others. Ooh, that's a big order. All right, so I'm using the Light Seers Pocket Tarot. Let's get back to this. Gosh, I am so glad I came on with this, because this is a wonderful, I mean, oh, my ears are just high-pitched buzzing too. Oh, the party thing, I didn't talk about that. Thank you. There was a young person that I just thought the world of. I believe truly in my heart of hearts, she has spent most of her time in the angelic realm and decided to come into humanity. She lived a very short life, and she was the closest thing I've ever met in the flesh and the living to what I would call an earth angel. Okay. And she died very young. And I grieved and I grieved and I grieved. And that's when the dragonflies started all swarming around en masse in weird places and all the time, you know. And so when I was really trying to just come to grips with it, because she was so young, and it doesn't matter if you're a medium, it doesn't matter if you've had a near-death experience. When you get hit with grief, you just get hit, you know, and everybody's still human. So anyway, I went to sleep, but here's the difference between a dream that is a visitation of spirit and a dream that's just your brain working out the busy monkey brain stuff of the day, right? Or an anxiety dream or whatever. Those will get kind of muddled and you don't remember them as much. This one is as vivid and crisp now as it was years ago, and well over a decade ago when I had it. Okay? So what happened was I went to the other side. I astrally traveled in my dream. I went to the other side, and there was this I walked into this round, gorgeous, light-filled room with a ton of columns all forming the circle of the room. And everybody was busying around. And I've seen this before in readings for people when someone was going to transition in the next few years. And I heard them talk about the party they were having for that person on the other side with their guides and whatever. So when I asked the guides to come through. But for this young person, I wasn't supposed to be there, okay? But I managed to get there in the dream state, and I walked into this center circular area with all these columns that had room behind the columns for people to stand. And I could overhear people talking. They were so excited. They were like, we have to get the party ready together. We have to have the welcome home party for her. So they were having a welcome home party. And I know that sounds silly, but everyone was so excited. And that's what it sounded like just now. There was the welcome home party. Anyway, And while I was there, I could hear this singing, and I recognized what they were. It was like a chanting song. And I realized that I knew it. Of course, that's the one thing I don't remember now is what the song was, because I think I kind of got busted as being there and I shouldn't have been. So that might have been wiped, but thankfully they let me keep the rest. So I went to that behind the row of columns and I stood in line with all these other spirits. And the movement was calling up, singing the song, and pushing the energy down and the light down into the world and into people. And every time we ask for healing for someone, every time we pray, we call, we, sometimes beg for healing, sometimes you get healing, sometimes you get miracles, sometimes you get the peace of making or coming to terms with a loss. But all of this was that whole group circling this round room, but standing kind of behind the columns. They were continually and nonstop sending light and healing and love down into us. So I started singing the song with them and I started doing the movements. And I thought, oh, I remember this. It feels so good. It feels so good. And I'm so happy to be a part of this and do this. And then all of a sudden I heard someone say, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." No one else batted an eye. They just kept right on going with what they were doing. And it jarred me a little bit. And I looked up and I thought, uh-oh. And of course, my first instinct was, oh gosh, I'm in trouble. No, I wasn't in trouble. But they just said, you can't be here right now. This isn't the place you're supposed to be. And we have a lot to do. So you're going to have to go back now. And that was not my near-death experience. That was just me astrally traveling in a dream because I wanted to go. And so I hope, but when I say a party, I'm not kidding. They have a welcome home party. And I hope this brings you some comfort. Because it's also not just for humans, it's for pets, it's for